This is a special presentation of WAAY 31 Sports.
It's the McCurry Van and Car Rental Big Game Friday night. Hello, Alabama, find a comfortable spot. We got high school football and it's coming out hot. Now here we are and the lights are shining bright. We've always been. Yeah, WAAY 31 is rocking all right.
Big Game Friday night. Max Cohan, Trevor Denton.
It's the McCurry Van and Car Rental Big Game Friday night.
It's the battle for 7A Region 4. Austin and James Clemens clash for the region crown in our game of the week.
That's right. Then out in Trinity, West Morgan putting their perfect season on the line against Central Florence in our rivalry game of the week.
Hello and welcome into Big Game Friday night, everyone. After tonight, just 2 weeks remain in the regular season, and tonight we got a lot closer to finding out who will be playing some extra games. Max Cohan here with the one and only Trevor Denton. That's right. And Trevor, there are a number of regions that will be decided by just one game.
Yeah, that's right. There are only a handful of regions that aren't going to come down to the wire here, but in 7A Region 4, it all came down to tonight. The Austin Black Bears still working on a perfect season so far, but James Clemens had plans to wear that region crown for the second year in a row.
Yeah, so let's not waste any more time and head right out to Madison City Stadium where Paige Meyer has our recap of the game of the week.
An undefeated record was on the line tonight as 5-0 Austin took on 4-1 James Clemens. Both teams gave it their all, but one squeezed by to secure the win. The undefeated Black Bears ended up taking this one 31-28, but the Jets didn't go down without a fight. Madison City Stadium was packed for the region championship between the Burnt Orange and Carolina Blue. Austin starts us off, but after a few close calls, the Black Bears go for the field goal. But James Clemens blocks it and the ball is snagged by Mason Rose. A flag is thrown on the play before Rose makes it into the end zone, so no points went up on the board, but that's a first down for the Jets. James Clemens makes a few attempts to get the first points up on the scoreboard, but the ball gets turned back over to Austin. The Black Bears have a nice catch here by Landon Baker, making it just shy of the end zone. And that catch leads to the first touchdown of the night, charged into the end zone by the Black Bears with a minute left in the first quarter. James Clemens gets some nice yardage here on the return, but as Ty Dowdy gets tackled by Austin, the ball is fumbled, putting the ball back into Austin's hands. Austin now with the ball launches it to Jackson Potter, and he catches it inches from the end zone, bringing the score 14-0. James Clemens with the ball now reaching for redemption, but falls short as Austin's Chase Davis gets the interception. The ball is thrown here to Kenneth Joshua, and the pass is complete, and into the end zone he goes for another Austin 6 points. But James Clemens doesn't back down here with a nice catch by Ty Dowdy. And that catch leads the boys down the field, and into the end zone Dowdy goes for the first touchdown for the Jets. But with the ball now in the Black Bears' hands, they dial in and launch it into the end zone. And the catch is good by Cameron Berry. We're here at Madison City Stadium. I'm joined with Austin head football coach Jeremy Perkins. You guys are now 6th in the region. How are you feeling right now?
Well, I feel pretty good. It feels good to clinch the region championship. We didn't play real good at times, but we'll find a way to win.
Absolutely. Then with this undefeated record, I mean, what are some goals coming forward, moving forward that you guys want to hit?
Well, we want to try to win, finish the season undefeated, go 10-0, and to do that, we got to get back to work, win next week, and end with Muscle Shoals and win that ball game. And then we want to make a run in the playoffs.
You said that sometimes you guys weren't playing as good as you wanted to. What are some things that you're going to work on before next week?
Well, we've made a lot of mistakes. Special teams were a struggle tonight. We didn't tackle well, so those are some things we got to stress. And offensively, we kind of let the moment get too big for us at times. So we've got to settle down and run our offense and execute.
You guys are undefeated right now. How likely do you think it'll be to be undefeated going into playoffs?
Well, that's the goal. We're going to do what we got to do to try to make it happen. We've got Grissom next week, which is a good football team, and then we end with Muscle Shoals, is a very good football team as well. So the challenges are there. We'll see if we rise up to it and see how things unfold.
Is there anything you want to say to the fans that came out tonight? You guys weren't home, and it was a pretty great turnout.
Go Black Bears. Thanks for the support. Hopefully they'll keep coming out and watch us at home the next 2 weeks.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Coach. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Now that pretty much wraps it up here at Madison City Stadium. Austin ended up taking this one 31-28. Reporting in Madison with coverage you can count on. Paige Meyer, WAAY 31 Sports.
We've seen some great games at Madison City Stadium this year, haven't we? There's another one, so that'll wrap up the region. Congrats again to the Austin Black Bears on claiming the region crown, their third of the 2020s.
And the Black Bears will wrap up their region schedule next week against Grissom. The Jets will cap theirs against Albertville. And staying in the region, there are still playoff spots up for grabs. Huntsville and Florence are both trying to get in. The Falcons held the spot entering the night, but would need to win to keep it. Florence had 8 straight wins over Huntsville on Friday morning, and now they have 9. The Falcons take home this one, 34-7. Another team trying to hold their 7A spot is Sparkman. Tonight they traveled to take on Grissom, and the Sens would put together a solid opening drive, capping it off with a shot for the end zone, but Keaton Williams misses his man, and Keyshawn Barnes is there to pick it off and get some solid yards back on the return, but Grissom's drive wouldn't go any better. In fact, it would end in the same exact way as Tristan Taylor tosses this one up and right into the waiting arms of Will Robinson. So far, 2 drives and 2 picks. Could we see 3 for 3? Believe it or not, the answer is yes.
No way.
Yeah, it is yes. Williams overthrows his man again, and wouldn't you know it, it's Barnes again. Grissom would get 3 points out of that. We would eventually see a touchdown on the next Sparkman drive as Cameron Reynolds finds pay dirt on this touchdown. Sparkman wins big, 48-10 over Grissom.
People can run the ball, you know. Over in 6A Region 8, 1 win is all it would take for Fort Payne to take their first region title since 2019. Their opponent tonight, the Hazel Green Trojans. Wildcats on the move. Carter Blaylock catches the screen and turns upfield for the solid gain. Their quarterback, Dax Varnador, has been putting up some insane stats all season. Tack on to those stats, the signal caller fires a pass over the middle. Riker Shankles does the rest. Varnador threw for 4 touchdowns last week. He had a lot more today. Fort Payne's defense also getting in on the scoring. Carter Tinker, he plays like 9 positions while he does all of them well. Look at that, the big linebacker rumbling down the field for a pick 6 to continue what was a dominant night. Fort Payne winning 56-29. A full moon out on Thursday night to see an Athens team full of offensive firepower. The Golden Eagles facing Columbia. A couple plays into this one, Brogan Gross dropping an absolute dime to Endy ties for 6. Athens trying to break up a 2-game losing skid. Plays like that will definitely help the cause. Next drive, Gross doing his best Johnny Manziel impression. He turns around 2 defenders and slips free to find DeMarcus Malone. That's as good of a 10-yard pass as you're ever going to see, whether it was using his legs, his arm. Brogan was in his bag last night. He scampers out, stretches the ball over the pylon. Nothing gross about his play on Thursday. A good get-right game for the Golden Eagles as they take care of Columbia, 54-0.
Coleman is another team trying to make sure their season extends into November. Decatur hope to play spoiler and win their 3rd game of the season. So let's head over to Ogle where the Red Raiders were ready to roll, but the Bearcats were on the hunt for a playoff spot. Quarterback Preston Gay fakes the handoff and rolls all the way to his right, fighting through traffic like an LA driver on his way to the end zone. Gay would also be responsible for Coleman's next score, dishing it to Colton Borden, who extends his arm for yet another touchdown. Decatur would put their hands in the fight, trying to fight back, but they were throwing into restricted airspace, and a pick would put the Cats back on the attack, and they would stay on it as Coleman wins 42-14 over Decatur. In 5A Region 8, 4 teams entered the night with at least 3 region wins, and they all met tonight. Up first, Arab and Scottsboro. We jump in with the Knights deep in Wildcat territory thanks to a blocked punt. Number 2, Drew Puccio on the keeper, and that's a touchdown. But he's not to be outdone on the other end. Scottsboro quarterback Jake Jones rolls left and grinds it out down the sideline for 6 of their own. A little bit after that, it's back to Arab. 2 plays after picking up a first down on 3rd and 21, it's Puccio with another keeper for the touchdown, but this was a wild one, and Scottsboro wins a nail-biter, 50-47.
Another great game, and we hate to stop the fun, but already time for us to call our first timeout of the evening.
But don't go anywhere. We're heading out to Trinity for our rivalry game of the week, right after the break.
Stay tuned for more Big Game Friday night. Go Spartans!
Welcome back into Big Game Friday night, everyone. Around North Alabama, few teams have been able to match the regular season success of West Morgan in the past 2 years. Drew Phillips' squad went undefeated and won the region title last year, and they're on track to do the same this year.
Yeah, tonight a win over Central Florence would put them right in the driver's seat, right where they like to be. And we jump in with the Rebels ahead by 23. How about you tack on 2 more of those as the defensive swarm creates the safety? But if you thought they were done running it up, you are sorely mistaken. Sean Tapscott takes the handoff, shows off the sprinting speed on a Wild West Morgan touchdown. And Drew Phillips' squad, they just never take that foot off the gas. If you don't believe me, just watch Ty Jones on that catch and run, telling the defenders you're going to have to come and hit me harder than that if you don't want me in the end zone. West Morgan in the end zone a lot tonight as they went over Central 52-26.
Over on Garth Road, the Raiders have been dreaming of winning their first region title. Tonight they had the chance to get one step closer as they hosted a struggling Madison County squad. Randolph came out on top in their last 3 meetings with the Tigers, and we'll jump into this one with the Raiders already up 4 scores and looking to add on. They go to the reverse. That time it was Beatty, but this time it's William Mitchell. He's going to get them a fresh set of downs, but when they decide that they're close enough, they pull the quarterback out again and put Beatty back in, and he is absolutely going to make it work as he gets right in on the direct snap. But right before the end of the break, Madison County would have one last shot at the end zone, and it's a beauty to the back. It's picked, only to be ripped out by Brody Snyder and ruled a Tiger touchdown. It was an insane play, and it deserves a super slow-mo replay, but it wouldn't change their fate as the Raiders win 49-14. While Randolph sits in first place, second place was up for grabs as North Jackson and Westminster Christian battled for their 5th region wins of the season.
Yeah, the Cats have put up at least 55 points in each of their last 2 matchups with the Chiefs, but oh, how the tables have turned this year. Right out of the gates, the Chiefs go on a march down the field. Diego Holt punching it in from a few yards out. He's having a pretty good season. Here's a pretty good play right here. Westminster's quarterback Houston Scott threading one over the defender's hands and into the arms of Renard Bendoff. That play as smooth as a pickup line, but North Jackson quickly picks back up possession. Creed Richardson says, "I can take you higher." Hassani Jackson goes to the place with golden streets and makes his escape. North Jackson wins 52-10 over Westminster, and I apologize for what just happened on the griot there.
Should not let him write any of his scripts.
I'm sorry. I said I was sorry.
Last year, the Madison Academy Mustangs were playing for a state title. Tonight, they were trying to keep their playoff dreams alive as they hosted JP2. History on the Mustangs side as they have never, ever lost to the Falcons. Second quarter, quarterback Luke Critter throws it all the way across the field to Zane Williams, and you simply can't bring this guy down in space. The speedster jukes his way into enemy territory. The Mustangs would go right back to him. Again, he's going to avoid defenders like I avoid folding my laundry. Come on, we all do it, all right?
You got to get on that, man.
Another solid game, but he fumbles this time, and JP2 takes over. MA would get the ball back quickly, and this time, Jaden Etienne pinballs off defenders and stays on his feet. Look at him rumble down the field. A lot of trips to the end zone tonight as the Mustangs gallop to a 48-7 win over the Falcons. Well, we've seen long runs, deep passes, and juke moves, but we've got to show the defense some love.
That's right, don't go anywhere. Our defensive play of the day coming in hot after this break.
Stay tuned for more Big Game Friday nights.
This is JC Jets Drumline. You're watching Big Game Friday Night on WAAY 31.
That's good stuff right there. The Jets band has been rocking it all year long at Madison City Stadium. Look at them go. The entire team getting involved out there by the buses. Look at them.
That's just good rhythm. You know?
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
takes practice. That almost probably takes as much practice as throwing a football in the end zone.
Yeah,
Can't say that for sure, but
it's not an easy thing to do. I rode left bench, so I never got to be a quarterback or a defender. But let's talk about the people that make lives difficult for the quarterbacks and go to our defensive play of the week. What do you think it's going to be? There were a lot of good options this week.
I mean, based off what I'm seeing, looks like this is probably going to be a pick six, right?
Yeah, it's a pick six. Look at that. Carter Tinker leaping into the air. He's a big linebacker, so you're like, maybe does he have the speed? Yeah, he does. Running out there to those concession stands in the end zone. Might get himself a little snack. That play was quite the snack. Fort Payne getting it done today. Not only Dax Varnador, the quarterbacks like you're talking about, but also the big fellas on the defensive side of the ball. Good stuff from them today.
Yeah, and they win the region title because of that.
That's a big deal.
It's a pretty big play. Well, out in the Shoals, the Mars Hill Panthers were one win away from locking up their fourth region crown of the 2020s, and they got it done, winning 47-0 over Culver Heights. And sticking with 3A Region 7, it was a battle for second place between Rogers and Lauderdale County, and the Tigers came out on top 49-0.
The Geraldine Bulldogs are one of North Alabama's most consistent units, making the playoffs every year since 2007. That's when some of Alabama's receivers were born. But they have yet to win a region title under Michael Davis. If they wanted any shot at doing that this year, they had to get past Whitesburg Christian tonight. First ever matchup between the Bulldogs and the Warriors. The Dubs acquainting themselves right away with the solid carry there. More where that came from. Tobin Jager was a man on a mission. He dices and smothers the defense like a hash brown order. And speaking of smothering, the Whitesburg defense was all up in Geraldine's grill today on this play. Look at that stuff in the run. But the Dogs, the real toast of the town overall, they win 69-21. No matter what region or classification Fife is in, they're always the team to beat. Now in 3A Region 8, the Red Devils entering the night is the only team with a perfect record, hosting Holly Pond, and you know who it is. That's Logan Anderson, the Clemson commit on the carry. That's all she wrote. The stadium could barely contain this guy. Now on defense, the Red Devils hit hard and knocked the ball free. Hayden Parker recovers it. That would bring out that Fife offense again. But surprise, this time it's Maddox Doss following a train of blockers in for another 6. Paul Benefield's squad staying perfect in region play. No doubt in this one, 61-18.
Well, folks, it's time for us to call our final timeout of the night, but don't touch that remote.
Yeah, we've got 1A action to get to right after the break, so don't go anywhere.
Stay tuned for more Big Game Friday night. You're watching Big Game Friday night. Go Falcons! Let's go Falcons!
Welcome back into Big Game Friday night, everybody. Max, I think it's time we check in on our lowest classification here in Alabama.
Yeah, let's do it. 1A Region 8, the Woodville Panthers were looking to bounce back from a tough loss as they hosted the Eagles. Started the second half. Panthers Jackson Clark with the onside kick, and Stephen Williams recovers for the Panthers, and then they just kept handing it off to Landon Campbell. First down after first down. The Eagles can't take him down. But Woodville's drive stalls, and the Eagles get back to rolling. Sean Curtis flips it to Dallas Stidham, who makes it look easy, reaching for the end zone for the score. Appalachian takes this one 42-0 over Woodville.
How about we move over to 1A Region 7 tonight? Cherokee looking to take control of that region against Meek. So let's take a look at what happened here. The Indians and the Tigers splitting their previous 4 matchups, but tonight Meek gains control. They win 68-28. It's not basketball season yet, but we've got a 68 on the board as they win over the Indians. Of course, we've got a great slate of games tomorrow as well, with both Auburn and Alabama in desperate need for some of those road victories, Max.
Yeah, you could absolutely say that. Over in Columbia, the Auburn Tigers will be searching for their first SEC win of the season when they kick off against Missouri tomorrow at 11. The Tigers will be facing their third straight ranked opponent in number 19, Mizzou. Eli Drinkowitz's team has yet to lose at home this season. We'll see if Hugh Freeze can change that.
And up in Knoxville, you know what it is, a top 15 battle between number 7 Alabama and number 11 Tennessee. The 106 7th meeting of the 3rd Saturday in October. Both the Tide and Volunteers coming off some narrow wins last week. Both these teams got question marks. Guess what? They also have playoff dreams. Alabama has only lost one time to Tennessee since 2007. That was in Knoxville. We all remember that well. We'll see if they can avoid losing their 2nd game in a row in Neyland Stadium when that one kicks off tomorrow afternoon. You can watch that one right here on WAAY 31. How perfect is that?
All right, well, before we sign off for the night, we'd like to just take this time to thank our radio sponsors as they help make this show possible each and every Friday. And of course, a massive thank you to everybody that helps make the show possible in the building. Everybody in production, our EP Sarah Jones, and all of our shooters on the sidelines. We quite literally would not be able to get the show on the air without them. And of course, a massive thank you to all you for tuning in this week and making WAAY 31 your home for high school football every Friday night.
Yeah, appreciate it. I saw some tight shots out there from our crew. Some great touchdowns, interceptions, and we still got a couple weeks to go, right, Max? So make sure to keep it locked right here on the Griot for Big Game Friday night.
You've been watching a special presentation of WAAY 31 Sports.